This is the kind of line waiting for you just to get your mail packages in many Colorado mountain communities. At least 7 communities in the mountains are now considering legal action against the U.S. Postal Service. They've already hired a Denver-based law firm.
Delays in mail deliveries is something it feels like we've been reporting about a lot recently, but local leaders tell our Luis De Leon this has been going on for years.
In a city like Denver, they may be hard to miss. Workers for USPS making their rounds. But for our neighbors in the mountains, they say it's a different story.
Ultimately, our outcome is we want to be able to receive mail similar to most functioning postal customers in this country.
Dara McDonald is the town manager of Crested Butte. She says mail delays have been lasting weeks at a time, but she says they're a town with no home delivery options, so delays for packages cause lines like this at their post office, and these were taken last summer. McDonald claims the problems go back to at least around 2018 with the rise of online shopping.
We shouldn't have to wait, 2 to 6 weeks to get mail. We shouldn't have to wait in line for an hour to receive a parcel. We shouldn't have to pay for postal boxes when there's no home delivery option.
She says they're not alone, and it's to a point where this week they announced that they've officially recruited a law firm in Denver to explore legal action. A lot of towns are in on it too, like Buena Vista, Silverthorne, Avon, Steamboat Springs, and a few more. But USPS is struggling to hire, holding a job fair last month to recruit for the hundreds of open positions in Colorado. In a statement, a spokesperson for USPS acknowledged that in the last few months, their operations have not hit their standards in the mountains. They say they've taken steps to hire, borrow employees from across the West, and deployed teams to the mountains to assess the situation of deliveries.
I think it's lost time and it's uncertainty.
But McDonald says many folks can't afford any more delays.
You don't know if you can trust that mail is going to come through. And that puts a hardship on people. You don't know if your Social Security check is going to be delayed or if it's going to be there on time.
McDonald also tells me that they hope to assess their options with their firm pretty quickly later this month in just a few weeks. She also acknowledges that staffing is a challenge, but says they've actually tried to encourage USPS to provide housing in order to better recruit for their region, but she claims that that just hasn't gotten much traction just yet.
That is a big problem, though, for so many jobs to fill in the high country.
And in the meantime,
understandable, It would be something for the Postal Service, too.
Right. And in the meantime, speaking of the Postal Service, they said in a statement today that they feel that with all the steps that they've been taking, they feel that their operations have been stabilized. But clearly, we're still at a point where they're currently in the process of looking at legal options. So let's see how this goes.
Maybe the customers don't feel it's stabilized.
Right.
If they feel like it is. Okay.
Right.
Luis, thank you.
Kind of felt like a chilly spring day today. Mostly cloudy skies all day led to a mix of rain and snow showers in the metro area. While we didn't get a whole lot from this system, the eastern plains could be getting up to 2 inches of snow overnight. But this weekend looks a little warmer and sunnier. Danielle Grant is joining us to tell us about the wind that will be here too, along with that sun in our full forecast.
Police in Thornton need your help finding a teenager who has been missing now for more than a week. 17-year-old Ivan Benjamin Redhorn was last seen February 22nd by the North Suburban Medical Center. At the time, he was wearing a green hospital gown with a gray sweater and blue jeans. Redhorn is affiliated with the Blackfoot tribe. He's unfamiliar with Colorado because he's from Montana, and police are worried about his safety. Anyone with information on where he might be, please call 911.
A sea of red flooded the Colorado State Capitol today as students walked out of class this morning, pushing for stronger gun laws in the wake of the death of their classmate. Luis Garcia died Wednesday after being shot on East High School's campus. But before being let into the Capitol to talk about gun control, the sea of students had to wait to be scanned for weapons. Holding signs inside with Luis's name, they made their case to people who make the decisions. Students say they're sick of having to do this over and over and over again, saying they've had more days off because of gun violence than for snow days this year. They want Luis's story to be a catalyst for change.
We're over it, and I don't want the freshmen, the sophomores, even the juniors to have to keep doing this. They shouldn't have to spend their time in high school having to fight for their safety in a place that they spent 8 hours a day for 12 years. Like, that's not something that they should have to fight for.
It was a big crowd. I just never imagined it to be like about him.
Luis's brother remembers him as hardworking, loving, and caring, and he wants people to remember his name. Nobody has been arrested in Luis's death. Denver Public Schools says for a month, a hacker was able to access employee-sensitive information, things like social security numbers, driver's license, even fingerprints. The school district says they found a data hack in its network on January 4th. Through an investigation, they found a hacker access their systems between December 13th and January 13th. DPS says approximately 15,000 employees were affected by this. The district will not be notifying, they will be notifying employees by mail. They're also offering free credit monitoring and identity theft protection services. DPS says they've enhanced security to their network since the breach.
A jury's returned a split verdict against former Republican Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters today. This was not the case where she is accused of tampering with the election equipment in her county. Jurors found her guilty, though, of obstructing government operations. She refused to give police an iPad that prosecutors say she used to videotape a court hearing. Peters was detained. Cell phone video showed her attempting to kick an officer. She was charged with another obstruction charge for that, but was acquitted today on that charge. She faces up to 6 months in jail and a $750 fine. She is also still facing felony charges, accused of tampering with election equipment. Also, she is running for state Republican chairperson.
Suncor is returning to full-scale operations after being shut down for more than 2 months. The refinery said today they're restarting plants 1 and 3 in the coming days. Suncor already restarted plant 2 in early February. They're calling it a progressive restart, so people nearby may start to see those flares coming from the plant. The refinery has been partially closed since 2 fires and damage from cold temperatures back in December. They expect to be fully operational by late March. Suncor not being fully operational is driving up gas prices in most of the state. We're averaging $4 a gallon, according to AAA, nearly 60 cents higher than the national average. Experts say if Suncor fully reopens at the end of the month as expected, prices still may not go back down until September or even October.
Denver police are now launching a new program they hope will help them track down stolen cars faster. This is called Denver Track, launched in response to the increasing number of stolen vehicles reported not just in Denver, but across the whole state. Here's how it works. First, you sign up. Then, if your car is stolen, police can use tracking technology already in your car to locate that car. Location technology comes on most cars and trucks that have been built since 2015, but police can also use aftermarket GPS or even Bluetooth programs.
It demonstrates that we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. People are already tracking their vehicles. What this program does is provides us a safe alternative to finding your own car. And if people take one thing out of this press conference, what we need to get across is do not go find your own stolen car. Work with the police department and we will help you safely recover your vehicle.
Anyone who lives or works in the city of Denver is eligible for this program. And if you are worried about the privacy around tracking, police department today said they cannot access tracking data unless the car is reported stolen. Anyone with a federal conviction for simple marijuana possession can now apply for a presidential pardon. The Biden administration began accepting pardon requests today. To qualify for this, applicants must have been charged before October 6th and must have been charged in federal court or D.C. Superior Court. They have to be a U.S. citizen or in the country with legal documentation. And if they are eligible, people will be given a certificate that proves they have been pardoned. These pardons do not apply for state marijuana convictions. CNN reports that officials say there are no Americans currently serving prison time solely for federal simple marijuana possession charges. But they guess that at least 6,500 people have been charged with that crime.
Wolves are coming to Colorado. Colorado Parks and Wildlife is finishing up their plan to bring them into the state. Since January, the agency has heard from over 230 people about their draft reintroduction plan. They've also received over 4,000 comments online. Using this public feedback, commissioners have issued guidance on a final revision for the plan, mainly surrounding compensation livestock owners will receive if a wolf kills one of their animals. They've increased the compensation up to $15,000 per animal. It was previously $8,000. Now they can also get vet expenses compensated up to $30,000 per animal. It's in its initial phase. CPW plans to release about 10 to 15 gray wolves into the western slopes every year, they say. They're hoping to take them off the state's threatened and endangered species list. In order to do that, the wolf population needs to hit at least 200. CPW will vote on that final plan in May.
Every year, in a number of ways, each high school student crosses a bridge from the classroom into adulthood. A new cafe in the Jefferson County School District is helping build a better bridge by providing some work experience during high school hours.
Before the first customers and before the first cup.
There we go.
Problems must be solved so the grand opening of this coffee shop can run smoothly.
You did it! High five! Problem solved.
Gabe Kruger is a barista at Rise Up Cafe.
It's satisfying watching the beans get broken up.
A new coffee shop in the Jefferson County School District's Education Center, run by their transition services students and educators. The service program works with students between the ages of 18 and 21, helping them transition from high school to adulthood. The program is part of Jeffco's Special Education Department.
It's a program where we leverage our students' strengths towards building post-secondary skills for adulthood.
Jeb Braco is the district's Assistant Director of Special Education.
I can help who's next.
The Transition Services Program helps 135 students district-wide with on-the-job training and communication skills.
Whoa, Katie!
We're working towards interactions, the social interactions, that sort of nuances of conversation, those different pieces. Just the task, what do you do when something goes wrong?
Would you like your receipt?
Braco says the goal is to get their students ready for the next step.
After public school ends, there's really a lack of support for our young adults with unique needs. And so getting them ready for adult life is everything that we do.
It's a step Gabe's already planning for.
I want to be a broadcast meteorologist.
By asking the important questions.
Do you know who Kathy Saban is?
So he can figure out what's next after graduation.
When you're an adult, you need to be able to problem solve. That's one of the things that our teacher is getting us to do. Would you like any additional syrups in there?
4-9 News.
But be careful, it's hot.
I'm Byron Reed.
The cafe's been open for just 2 days. Their grand opening was March 1st.
I've been tracking a fast and furious storm for us today and another one on the way this weekend. It'll kick up the winds quite a bit. I'm tracking that and more up next.
Researchers at CU are studying if soybeans can be used for more than just food. Instead, they could be used in life-saving medicine.
I think this is a pretty uncommon sight here at the state Capitol building.
Scales and fur, oh my. Things got a little wild at the state capitol today.